What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another profile here on the channel. Today, I'm going to be showcasing the Allura deck that I played in this week's Webcam Wednesday. That's right. On my stream last night, at time of recording, I opened a Chrome Allura, and so I thought, why not play with her? This deck, I came in with the expectations of this deck not being that great, but man, this deck ended up so much cooler and had so many interesting, neat interactions that I'm excited to explain to you. So we're just going to jump into it. So the elevator pitch for the character is she steals quite a bit of momentum for the very good actions that you play, and she mitigates the normal downside of these really strong actions that they stay in the card pool. Allura removes them from the game to get that momentum, as well as a ton of disruption of commit a foundation, the awesome bomb, the thing that was supposed to kill me no longer kills me as I have sealed it, and I get to block whatever with my next check. It gets +3. Very, very good, very, very strong. And so let's talk about the deck. So this is a chaos list, and it is focused around some spells, and so the very easy bread and butter spell inside of Allura, inside of every chaos spell deck, is just channeling spells. Seal. This card, if it hits, you draw a card. Feels very solid. 4 high for 4, 2 mid block, got a little bit of extra stun at deadlock, and it stops the disruptive blocks, things like showdown, things like what am I trying to say? Barrier shield. If they try and attack breaker 2 on things, it just says, hey, you cannot respond on anything. After that, probably the highest performing attack in my deck is just duplicitous attack. This card, I think, is incredibly real in every single character that can steal free momentum. I play a spell, I give this echo, I echo the next thing. Her ability to like clear cards out of the card pool is like really strong. This card just like felt so good. It was really strong, and I'm excited to talk about some of these stuff we did. The last 4 of that we have in the deck, it was just big freaking explosion, a kill card to tack on at the end. Felt very good to echo this guy if necessary, and was just a big kill string, a big bomb to play at the end of your chain. And there is also some really cheeky things that you can do of like, I will play an attack, I will play this move, I will echo this move, and then on the echo, I can respond commit Allura and say that my next check gets +3, and then I play the BFE essentially on a 5. And so there's some really neat offensive things that you can do with your character and this card, like playing it very late on very few foundations. Like I think that line is like on a 4, on a 5, on a 6, on a 5, essentially. Feels very strong. Next, the rest of the attacks are all 2-ofs. We got double spirit unicorns. Felt great to open up, especially whenever you followed it up with a duplicitous of this one doesn't count, so now this one's on a 4, not a 5, which means the echo is now not on a 6, it's on a 5. This felt very good. I almost would want to push it up to a 3-of, but finding room, I think, is really hard. After that, double spell storm. This card is very cool because it is an extra bomb after they have spent resources dealing with the BFE. You then take and flip all of your things and you give it powerful, and we are a mage, so we are allowed to give it the EX ability as well. The other cool thing with this card is it says you can flip spells to pay for the keywords on it, which means if we go duplicitous into Spellstorm, I'm allowed to flip a spell in my card pool in order to echo it, and with its on-hit draw ability, it feels very solid to do that. From here, we've got double gravity well. This card's cheeky. It's probably the #1 card that I want to cut. This card is just like so cute. It's so cute that it just doesn't deserve to be in the deck. Mage powerful 4 is probably the only defending thing. I would probably cut one of it if I were to play the deck again. Up next, another card that I think was way better than it had any right to be was just Widowghast's Web of Fire. Whether it was wearing the extra +1/+1 from channeling, or very scarily was able to be echoed with duplicitous, this card just representing just so much damage inside of the character was very strong. And then my last one, Inventor's Creation. A lot of really primo targets here of powerful 4, EX2, powerful 3, and then this card randomly has EX3 as an additional bomb at the very end to just like tack on, or if they're in deadlock, you could grab deadlock stun too. This card is just kind of like trying to round out my base. I almost would like put the Inventor's Creation at a 1 of and play maybe even another Spirit Unicorn, because seeing it was like very, very strong. And so that's it for the spells, the attacks. You can get away with diluting your spells just a little bit if you wanted to, just based on the numbers. But Duplicitous, just being able to combo off the spell, was just so strong that I didn't want to in this first iteration of the build. But there's maybe room for like some classic chaos good stuff like Krakens or something along those lines. Up next, onto the actions, the real heavy lifters inside of the deck. The thing that makes you want to play Allura, and the reason we picked the Chaos symbol is exclusively for Manifest. Manifest is so good in this character. Classic comboed line. I play Channeling Spell Seal. I play Duplicitous. I give the next thing Echo. I use Manifest to toss this into my momentum and then redraw, and then use Allura to remove this and get a bonus momentum. And so, like, now whenever I play my next move, I've got the maybe 2 momentum to then spend it to do really powerful, potent things. And the fact that this works on defense of, like, I will block with a thing, I will manifest it in, I will grab my momentum. Like, gain 2 on defense is so good. 1 high block gains 2 health on block. It's just such a power play. It makes me not even look at the other symbols on her kit. Up next, we've got double Strange Energies. This card was such an MVP of like negating clutch enhances, specifically defensive things, if they had a way to like interact with any of the fragile combo pieces that I had. This was just a way for them to stop doing that or commit extra resources and then play something later. It sticking in the card pool stinks, and Allura gets to get rid of it. Probably should be a 3 of in the deck, honestly. I always felt like I wanted it. Up next, we had Scanlan's Hand. Scanlan's Hand at a 3 of. Originally, the list was supposed to play 4 of it, but I only own 3 Scanlan's Hand. I didn't miss it. It's really, really good when it's really, really good. And it's kind of mediocre elsewhere. Being able to just play it as a form and then go into the Duplicitous feels very solid, because this card is a spell and she only cares about spells, not spell attacks. And so like you play this and then you use Allura to then remove it and then snag your momentum feels potent, but it was not so necessary that I felt like I absolutely had to. There's no way I cut it from the deck, but it might go down to a 2 of in the main board and maybe side a couple more. And then the last action that we have was just run away. This, like Manifest, was a card that I felt like is part of the reason that I want to play on this symbol altogether. It just feels so good to be able to run away and then steal the momentum and like not be clogged on the runaway. Easily could be playing more if you wanted to. Onto the assets, we're playing double Spire of Conflux. The difference in your kill potential whenever this card is on the board versus it's not is so high. The damage output of your deck is actually surprisingly low. There are a lot of 4 low for 4s, 4 high for 4s kind of played middling attacks here. 4 low for 4, 4 high for 3, 5 high for 3. The middle string of attacks is kind of bad, but giving them all +1 damage is very good, as well as if they hit, you can dig a little deeper and try and like build out a little bit stronger. It's great, and it's combo protection, as they can't flip or remove cards or make cards leave your card pool. And then the last asset is just double vertical. So there were some games where I'd have like 6 momentum on turn 3, and so having vertical, being able to spend that momentum, protect yourself, do what you got to do, very good. Onto the foundations. My only aggro foundations was just double Nezhary out of the big 3. Again, I think the deck has a bit of a damage output issue. Killing on turn 2 is very hard unless you like find some pretty big spell storms and check incredibly well, which I guess you can help with that, but still, this is the only real aggro out, and I think we might get there. It's the only lock breaker in the deck. It is the only lock breaker in the deck, so protecting this is kind of important. On to triple Button Collector. The cutest thing that you could do with Button Collector is if you play Gravity Well and you play the Blitz on Gravity Well, it says if I've got multiple button collectors, I'm allowed to commit them and they don't flip because of how Gravity Well works. I don't think that this is good enough to want to play the Gravity Well at a 2 of. I would play it at the 1 of. I never even found the combo to do, or if I did find it, it wasn't optimal to do it in the moment. So it's cute, but I just don't think it needs to exist in here. Definitely keep the button collector though, because button collector, you can spend the momentum to disrupt their board. Next full card we've got is Fearsome Transformation. If I have momentum, very easy for my character to do. Flip and I will draw a card. Simple. Next we've got the Best Detectives. Flip mill cards. If you milled a spell, get to draw a card. Very good at tossing in attack cards for both this card and this card. We want to have targets for the Inventor's Creation. We want to have as many attacks in the discard pile for BFE, and so this card just says mill 3 to do a cool thing. In the same idea, we've got 3 Inspiring Song. Mill 3, my check or your check gets a plus or -1, my choice. This card's so good. Probably should exist at a 4 of. 1/6 3 mid block is a spell. To then, if I'm absolutely desperate, I can go Inspiring Song into Duplicitous into another move, and then it becomes an Echo. It is decent. Next full card that we've got, and last one is just a Master's Pride. It's the only real playable 0 diff on the Chaos symbol anymore, and so like our hands are a little slower, which is why things like Inspiring Song are so important, because they are a 1 diff that count as 2 foundations once per game. This card is just very good. It's pretty solid. I recommend. You got to play 4 of it now. On the defense, playing triple Broken Psyche. I think blocking is kind of hard right now outside of the one I negate your thing. And so this card clears an attack card by sealing it, and then my check gets easier to play. And if I don't want to use that check quite yet, I can spend a momentum and then make something 2 damage. This card is good. It is very strong. It can be interacted pretty easily with things like Sacrifice for the Cause, which is all over the place. Up next, we're playing triple Fast Friendship. I kind of feel like I missed the 4th one, but with the +3 to my check on Allura, it was okay. It just meant that, like, if I use Allura, I couldn't do my cool action steal momentum things, and sometimes it was mismatched of, like, when I needed to commit Allura versus when I used the action to get the extra resources. And so maybe a 3rd one or a 4th one in here wouldn't feel too bad. It really depends on how you feel and if you got the extra room. Onto the disruption cards. We're playing 4 Magic Trap. Part of the reason that this deck is so unbelievably crazy is if I play something along the lines of a Manifest, or even better, let me find it, a Runaway, I will play either of these 2 cards, their ability or on defense, and say that their checks get -X, their next check, and they can fail a turn by doing it. So sometimes, like, I'd have 3 of these out, I would play the Runaway, I'd stuff their card pool, not take the damage, breaker 3 them, and then go, you got to do something else. It felt very, very solid. Very solid. Up next, we've got double Disarming Glance. This is an all-around, sometimes it's like a get-out-of-jail-free card, if my opponent has like a really potent draw ability. There's a lot of drawing happening in the game, but you also draw a lot, and so you do have to make sure that you are not doing things like your Manifest, there's like all of these cards, they all say draw a card on them, and so not being able to use these abilities inside of the attack feels pretty rough. Double checking, yeah, that's it. And so, like, the fact that this card just like shuts off this much of our deck feels pretty bad, but at the same time, they might just kill you if you let them draw your card. So you got to do what you got to do. And then the last card that we're playing is this double Incredible Display. We steal momentum very easily, and so Incredible Display, being able to cancel responses so that our cool combo works, just makes sense. And so with that, there is the Allura deck that I built. Full disclosure, this was not originally my deck. This is actually Jose Narono's deck. He shared it with me, and I was like, this is really cool. But I made a couple changes. His deck was a little bigger. I slimmed it down, put in a couple more attacks, and I like this version a lot, and I'm excited to send it back to him. With that said, thank you much for watching the video. If you want to see the deck in action, there's an entire run of the deck that I played on Webcam Wednesday available right now. And if you want to play more games of Universes, come join Webcam Wednesday. Type in Webcam Wednesday in the search bar inside of the UGN app, and you will be able to find it each and every week. So with that, thank you much for watching the video, and as always, I wish you well.